if you represent God, to be pillars on the earth, to clean up the earth with his worship, his word, and his love. So God told me he'll make room for everyone's gift. And tonight, I'm going to express my gift to you guys. I'm going to show what my gift is to all of you, because I didn't do this just to play around with you. I didn't do this just to pussyfoot. I put more than 20,000 hours to bring this information to you guys. So let's go. Let's go. Come with me. I don't have the what's name where I can just go ahead and take it around the corner, around the world. So we got TikTok. I got my Facebook and everything over here. Let's see, what else? Let me go ahead and bring my YouTubers on here. Why? Because my mentor, Dion Coop, Darius Benders, Smitty, the GOAT, told me to be consistent. Told me to keep it 100. So that's what I'm doing. So I apologize. Things are a little unorthodox. But stick with me. I bet you're going to learn something tonight. Because, baby, you can't get this on Google. You can't get this information on YouTube. No. See, that's the thing. When you create something yourself, when you do this yourself, when you have all of the systems in your head, can't nobody. I'm the Dr. Dre of logistics. Let me be honest with you, baby, because when I got in this, they didn't understand who they let into this. I am the person who don't play when it comes to certain things, because when I go in, I go all the way in. Why? Why not? You only live once. You only live once. So why not go all the way in? Can I get this right? Let me just make sure. So tonight we are coming to you live on my IG, on my everything, baby, everything. So let's go. I've been in logistics for a long period of time now, and now you're all about to understand why I've been in logistics for this period of time, what I've been here in this industry doing. What's up, Marsha Ray? Let me make sure my angles are right, because when I say a production system, baby, this is one. I kid you not. I've been dispatching for a while, but teaching is something completely different and completely new, and it needs its own system. I had to create everything by hand, and it is not easy at all. And so I apologize for being not all the way with my angles, but don't worry, my information is going to be right there. Now, let's get it. My name is Catherine, but on here, you see Global Logistics University. I am the founder of Global Logistics University. Why? I spent years building my dispatching. Let me say it correctly. I didn't spend years building my dispatching company. I spent 30 days building that company, and I mastered it over a period of time. So this ain't gonna work. I'm not sure why or how. We're gonna have to do it some way, somehow, like this. I don't know why TikTok do it this way. Let's get it. Last night on Tuesday, I was in class with Darius Bender. Shout out to Darius. So I want to say to my coach, when he was talking to Dominique, he said he had us do like this form about who we are, what we do, and stuff like that. One thing that stood out was it said the unique mechanism. And I said, what is that? That's basically your teaching methods. But I was shocked because I never heard it get put that way. My unique mechanisms. Those are your training, your teaching styles. And I had to do a little bit digging, a little bit more research, and I realized that I actually created my own tripod operating system. 3 legs is what you need in logistics. Why? You need to know how to interview. You need to know how to make your money. You need to know how to eliminate operational deadhead. So that is exactly what this talk tonight is about. If I get the right angle, if I can get that angle, damn it, there we go. We're going to work with that. There we go. No problem. So I created more systems than that, but these 3 are the 3 that you need to get started, to grow, and to even scale your business in logistics. Why? Because if you don't know how to interview your carriers, sit down. Go sit down. have the whole seat, because you can't tell me that you can stand in front of someone and say you're going to be their operational manager, because technically a real dispatcher does that. We manage the entire operation system itself. So if you don't know how to vet a carrier, meaning how to interview a carrier, then you don't know how to interview a broker. And the problem with that is the broker is who pays you and pays your driver, your carrier. And if you don't know how to collect the money from that person, you are not qualified to dispatch for anyone. So with my tripod system, I'm going to deliver to you like a TED Talk tonight. I'm going to be honest, because my webinars are just practice for my life when I am with my students. And my webinars is just content for you guys, for you all to understand. Those people who are out there trying to get it the freebie way, because logistics, you come over here when you want a lifestyle. See, you go to doctors, nurses, lawyers, all of these other industries when you want a career. Let's be honest. A career means, hey, I have that secure payment. I know exactly what I'm doing every single day, where I'm going to be, how I'm doing. Yeah, but logistics, we operate a little bit different than that. We operate in a sense of partnership. We work for ourselves over here. We help each other. See, as a dispatcher, it's simple. 3 weeks ago, I brought something to you guys. And over 3 weeks ago, we talked about this entire industry. We talked about how to find the right carriers, how to know your numbers, and even how to build a profitable business. However, tonight, this is where everything comes together. Because here's the truth. Knowing the information, having knowledge without a system creates inconsistency. The reason why so many dispatchers and so many of my fleet owners are stuck is because, let me say it correctly, it's not because you all don't work hard. You do. It's not because you don't care. You do. It's because you're trying to run a business without an operating system. Did you understand that? Let me say it again. Tonight, I'm going to show you my GLU tripod operating system. This is a framework that connects the interview, your numbers, and your operations together. See, when you have those three systems working together, you stop guessing. You stop reacting. You stop trying to survive. You start operating with confidence. And the beauty is, by the end of tonight, you will understand what freedom and why freedom is not built by just finding one good load for that driver on one good week. This is about building a system, one complete system within. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me make sure that everything is connected so we are good to go. Hopefully, we don't have any issues with my pointer over here. Excusez-moi. That's all good. You gotta improvise. You have to just improvise. And I'm gonna be honest, because as much as you want things to be perfect, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm from Chicago. Nothing in life is perfect. You lucky God is perfect, because if God was here nowadays, my generation, the generation be after me, they would definitely clown my Jesus. So the problem, most of you dispatchers, y'all stay stuck. Y'all don't have a system. Y'all just say, look, I found a load. I got you 5,000. That's it. Well, here's my problem. Is 5,000 enough? Do you know? How do you know if your system works? See, the problem with most dispatchers, because you all have not transformed through the 4 stages of growth, you stay at the first level of dispatching, and that is to be a dispatcher, just a prime communicator. That's cool. However, that broker and that driver needs an operational manager, someone who can actually manage the entire freight from start to finish and be able to see where the problems are going to occur, and then when they occur, be solution providers without having to fumble the ball and trying to figure it out. See, the problem is most dispatchers, they continue to have the same operational deadhead, because this is the scene that you want to see. That operational deadhead that people don't understand, that it's in every business. Whether you're a nurse, a lawyer, a doctor, a judge, you all have operational deadhead. And the problem is, you all don't understand what that deadhead looks like. How long does it take a dispatcher to find a load? 5 minutes, 2 hours. I've been there. I've been able to find a load in 5 minutes. Why? Because I keep the 199 DAT real live. time, let me say real live time updates. That was the plan that I upgraded to. But let me be honest, I built my 6-figure business off of their first plan, which is the cheapest. I did 6 figures with 3 figures a month, $100, because it was my husband and I in the beginning. Your problem is your operational dead hit. How long does it take you to find a load? How long does it take you to complete that carrier's packet? How long? Every dispatcher, every driver, they do the same thing to get that load. You contact the broker, you complete the paperwork, you invoice them, you collect your money, you get paid, they get paid, everyone is happy. However, what's the difference in my system and your system? I eliminate those deadheads. The deadhead of trying to find a load. Take it down from 10 minutes to 2. Why? Get a better plan, have endorsements. So whatever load that you're going for, you're set. Have your paperwork ready. Have that carrier's packet already preset. These are the small tasks that once they're combined, they compound and take up a large amount of your time. See, when I started in dispatching, it took me hours, not just to book a load, but hours to complete the entire operation. Because if that load was double broker, guess what? That took me in another direction. If that driver was late, guess what? I went in another direction. If the shipper wanted my driver to touch the freight, that's another direction. We need more money, baby. You didn't sign that on the dotted line. We didn't negotiate that. See, this is a part of the problem. That's why most dispatchers stay stuck. The missing piece. Most operators are missing the connection that creates the result. See, you have a business, but do you know how to interview your carriers? Nah, you didn't go to school for HR. And in your last job, you were possibly in the back. So you wasn't in the front learning these things. Most problems most dispatchers, when they find that driver, guess what? This right here. My trucking household profit calculator is something that I personally created because I actually had to create the interviewing system. See, I come from sales, and the one thing that I learned about sales was you vet your prospect, you understand your product, and then you collect the money, either through making calls, direct contact, or even direct or affiliate marketing. It's so many ways to reach that customer. It's all about the goal of the reach. See, all of these missing pieces, I created myself. The carrier vetting system, that's my interviewing system. My trucking household profit calculator, that's my number system. And coming soon, my AI freight coach. See, I personally had to create all of these because why? I was hiring bad drivers. Couldn't take it. I didn't understand how I was coming across these people. But then again, when you think about it, logistics is a pool of independent drivers, independent companies who are basically people that came together to say, we want to be a part of this group, this industry, to make it a better industry, easier industry. But the problem is you didn't have a system to interview your carriers. No one out there who's teaching dispatching, they don't have a system. Ask that dispatcher that you're hiring, how do you find your drivers? I know you found me, but what other paths do you take? I keep it 100. I find everyone on Facebook. It doesn't matter where I find you. It's about how I interview you. So the problem is most people, they don't know how to interview correctly. So they may ask a couple of questions. They may say, oh man, that dispatcher, she cute. She sound knowledgeable. Baby, do you know the economics? Do you know how the actual industry flow? Do you know the slow months? Do you know the down months? Do you know the lane market strategy? Do you know the dry states? Do you know why shit not be? If you can't answer just those simple questions, you need to have a seat, because my carrier system encompass 25 questions along with the scorecard, a decision matrix. It comes with the entire system. See, the missing piece is that trucking household calculator also. Why? You got to know your numbers. Let me say it again, baby. Let me get in your face. Do you know your numbers? Because if you don't know your numbers, go sit down. I'm going to give you grace. Because how dare you, drivers, dispatchers, even some small fleet owners, how can you sit up here and say you know your numbers? And if I say, hey, how much does it take to move that truck? You go, ooh, I don't know. If I also say, how much do you need to make in a week? You say, oh, 10,000. And I say, well, why? You don't know. If I also ask you, how much is your household? Do you know? Nah, you don't know. You only know my truck made 8,000. My note is 1,500. My insurance is, let me say, 1,300 on a good day, and then gas, and that's it, and maybe food or lodging. You don't know your numbers. See, numbers are not business overhead, profit. Let me say it correctly, business overhead, revenue, and profit. That's not numbers. Numbers consist of business overhead, household overhead, revenue, and then profit. Because without that household, guess what? You're an employee. If we don't take the business that you created to cover the household, guess what? You got a second job. Now, outside of knowing your numbers, because that goes down to your gas, how many miles does it cost? How many miles are you driving per fill up? That's how you can break down how much it really costs that truck to run. Some trucks, some box trucks have 2 tanks, which means you're going to spend twice the amount of money. See, a lot of people, they can stand up and say, oh, I know how to dispatch because I took this course, but the course didn't teach me how to hire or how to find numbers, but I know what I'm doing. A lot of people say, oh, I'm ready to be a driver. How can you say that? Why? Because you have a driver's license? You are not equipped or qualified to carry millions of dollars of freight. That's America's backbone on your back, on your truck. You need to sit down and learn the fundamentals. You need to sit down and learn the interviewing system, the number system, and even the operating system. See, my AI freight coach, man, I took everything I created and put it into an AI dispatcher that doesn't just dispatch, but it also teaches you. See, that's the part that many people tend to forget. You can use AI, but do not allow AI to replace you or anything that you do. See, I can take the driver out of the truck, and guess what? That truck is still going to move. I can take the broker out the equation. Guess what? I am still going to move that freight. But if you remove the dispatcher, you lost your communication to your driver. Now, some drivers are out there trying to do it on their own, but guess what? You are the reason why they're creating faceless trucks, because a driver in that truck is trying to do too damn much, and you need to focus on driving because that's what you get paid to do. You don't get paid to broker your own load. That lets me know you either don't have the system or the money to afford an inexpensive dispatcher. A dispatcher who is trying to do all of this on their own, that lets me know you don't have a system or you didn't take the time out to hire a mentor to teach you. You went the freebie route. And don't get me wrong, I've been there before. I went to YouTube, but trust me, when I started, I paid the price of $200 and I paid the price of all the mistakes later. So you don't have to. So here's my story. My name is Kat. I'm from Chicago. Thank you, stud. Maybe next time you can do, hey, stud. Maybe next time you can ask to do a side-by-side with me, but not in the middle of my presentation. That's almost rude. I come from corporate sales, baby. I come from corporate sales, but let me be real with you. I come from Chicago. I have to get serious. I come from Chicago. I grew up in a foster care. At the age of 4, I was taken in. I was taken in because my father and his sister was arguing over drugs. I have never said that outside of my own circle. So that lets me know I'm really being honest and being real with you guys. Because when you don't have your foundation, and that's your family, to raise you, life will raise you. But fortunately, and by the grace of God, God raised me. God put the right people in front of me. I didn't have a silver spoon or a gold spoon in my mouth. I had determination and two hands and 2 feet. See, growing up in Chicago, you don't have time for depression. You don't have time for any other ish to come on to you. You only have time to get it and go. So my career has been in sales ever since I was at the age of 9. My brother created a candy store when I got back to my family at the age of 9, created a candy store for us. And I said, we can make money on our own. That day changed my life. Ever since then, I have been chasing to have my own life, control my own lifestyle, and that's not easy. My first career was in sales, and I learned in sales, hey, you can make your own money, you can create your own schedule. But then I learned that, hey, no matter what you do, if you work for somebody, you are always going to be under their finger, their foot, under their permission. I'm the type of person, if it's 5 o'clock, yo, I'm out. Excuse me, I'm not going to ask. I don't want to talk. I'm out. That's just me. Deuces. See, I was working at home selling CRM systems for a company named Proteus. They didn't know how to explain their software. It was similar to HubSpot and Salesforce, but they didn't want people to use those words. You had to make at least 5 sales a month. I made 10 to 15, which means I studied my product. I knew how to sell, and I also knew how to connect with people. But the problem is, I was dead time broke on their time, baby. When you work for somebody, you don't have an ounce of your life. You only have the life that they tell you you could have. Remember those words. See, that was my career. I was newly married and I just had a baby. I thought I was winning, baby. Why? Because my base was 60, but my commission was 10 to 15,000 on a monthly basis. Whew, you thinking you sweet. But when they say you got to work more, when they say they need you there at 12, when they say they need anything, you got to be on that time. Because if your salary, that means you minimally work 42. But that means you maximize, they can hit you for 90 hours in a week, 90 hours in 2 weeks. So I learned early on, I was time broke. And with the newborn, that's cool. But with the 3 month or 6 month, oh hell no, you can't do that at all. So I got on my knees and I prayed, because that's all that I know what to do. I've learned a long time ago, let me drop my own plans and let me pick up God's plans, because he's going to take me to the promised land. He's going to make room for my gift. And my gift was more than I actually knew. I knew nothing about dispatching, but he sent it to me in the answer through my brother and sister. See, my brother, he had 5 trucks. I wasn't paying his success any attention, because I had my own success over here. My sister, she had 2 trucks. I wasn't paying him any attention. See, our family, we get it in, we hang out, but then we get it in. So it's like, I'm not focused on what you're doing. I'm focused on my own plans, because I have things going on. I was dying on the inside though. How the hell are you dying as the peak of your career is starting to take off, as your life is starting to take off, as all these yeses are coming into your lifestyle? My husband worked in maintenance. He was drop tired, dead tired. We had no support, no family members to help us. I worked from 12 to 9. I had no energy. That's the reason why I prayed for something else. And to be a little bit more transparent, I was on a corporate call. My daughter was crying. I could not get off that call. I was on the phone with the CEO. I was hurt, because in the midst of him about to close this $125,000 deal with me, I can hear my daughter. Fortunately, he can't hear her, but he can see me, because I'm on a Zoom. Unfortunately, I closed the sale. But as soon as I got done, I ran to the room. And there she was, my daughter. Hushed over, sleep now, just tired. All she wanted was a bottle, and I could not get it to her in time. And all I wanted to do in that moment was cry. I said, are you kidding me, God? Like, you really telling me I have to choose between a successful career and motherhood? Nah, I'm not going to make that choice. because I know my work ethic and even the work that I do can really put my family on, like take us over the map. So I say, God, however you have it, show me your way. But I need a new lifestyle. I can't be on someone else's time. When I say my heart sunk, when I sat there and watched my daughter sleep, as I hear the phone ringing again and I have to get back to work, I said, I need something different. So that's why the next day when my brother and sister said, why don't you try dispatching? I said, what the hell is that? I don't even know what it is. I was so open for a different option. I tried it. I looked into a training. I paid $200. I told my husband, I was like, I'm not sure. He said, how are you going to do it? How? I didn't have an answer. I just knew I wasn't going to watch my daughter cry herself to sleep again. And I almost want to cry right now because do you know how sad it is to watch or to hear your child cry as a mom and you can't reach, you can't touch? Nah, I made a choice that day. I said, I am going to do this no matter what. I found a dispatching training, $200, no problem. Within the first week, I hired 6 carriers. I found them all on Facebook. See, dispatching, after figuring it out, I realized this is a puzzle piece. This is like a Tetris. Freight truck money. Say it again. Freight truck money. Guess what? Freight goes on the truck. And as a dispatcher, I'm the communicator. And I collect the money. And everyone gets paid. When I realized that, I said, hold on. I don't have to convince anyone. I don't have to persuade anyone. This isn't sales. Man, excuse my language, but fuck no. Let's go. This was easy. Compared to sales, sales is let me bridge the gap on why you need this. No, this is, hey, that freight is over there, right? My truck is 5 minutes from it. Can we do this for 300 more? Let's go. Let's go. Let me communicate with you where my driver is. Let me tell you when he drops off. Let me tell you when he picks up. Let's go. Let's go. Why? Because I am able to handle this on my own. I am able to handle this with my daughter crying in the background. I'm able to handle this without you telling me how to handle my business because my business is my business, your business, your business. We're partners. So once I understood that, I said, let's go. First week, 6 carriers. Second week, 12 carriers. Now, this is where my job was on the line because I didn't have the time. So I worked from 12 to 9 p.m. and then from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. because from 9 to 12, that's dinner, put my daughter to sleep, spend some time with my husband, and that was it. So 12 to 2, I start building. I start looking for carriers. I Facebook everyone. I send certain messages because I'm a saleswoman, so I know what to say. But then from 1 to 2, that's when I was booking loads. So it grew by the second week with 12 carriers because now you're talking about where am I finding the time to book these loads, to speak to the broker. I was on my phone from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. because I went to work at 12 p.m. And I had to have a set schedule, a structured set schedule so I can hit those numbers and then hit my commission at work. So when I tell you by the end of week 3, I was on probation. I'm nervous while making money with my business. Now we had 25 carriers by week 3. 25 carriers. 25 carriers. Now, the pro is we got 25 carriers. The con is we got 25 carriers, nigga. Do you know that's a bad problem to have? That's 25 people who need a load right now. I also figured out within those 3 weeks how to make $1,000, meaning how to help them make $10,000 a week on a weekly basis. I said, God, I need help because I got this job that's demanding. I got the titles, wife, motherhood, all of this stuff, being a sister, being a mom. All of this is demanding. My plate was already filled to the top. It was full. It wasn't enough because if it was enough, I would have found something else. But I had a full plate and I had no experience. By the time week 4 got there, I now had a meeting with my boss because I knew he was about to fire me. I was so nervous, y'all. Y'all understand? See, 25 carriers, 25,000 a month. That's cool, but if you can't produce, it's not cool. I am big on branding, and sales and marketing is my niche. So it's like I know how to build a business, done it, been there with World Ventures. But when you have 25 people who are counting on you, you have to do it right. You just can't say, oh, I can dispatch for you. Come on, let me go. No, you have to have a system. You have to do things structurally. You have to be on point. You have to be in order. I asked my husband, I said, yo, can you quit your job? And he was like, he laughed at me. And I was like, I'm serious as hell though. I got 25 people who are needing assistance. I didn't have time to teach him. I said, yo, call up a broker, say you want this load for this amount of money and your driver be there. Those were the 3 sentences I told him. I threw him into an ocean of sharks, not knowing what to say, have any answers. He was upset with me because business took off, and it took off fast, and it never stopped. So I never trained my husband properly. He just had to go with the motions. But that Friday, the end of the month, the Thursday, the night before, I prayed. I said, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I got too much on my plate, and I think I did this. I don't think you did this. I know I did this. So can you show me the right path? Because a lot of us, we fail to remember Proverbs 3:5, which is lean not onto your own understanding. Come on now, stop acting as if you know what you're doing. God says it in the Bible, you need him to do this world. So why would you not call on him? Why would you not give every burden to him? I've learned early on, give it to him. Just give it to him. I said, God, I need an answer. I need one tonight. I don't know what I'm going to do. I wanted to keep the job. Why? You pay me $60K. I'm making $10 to $15K on a monthly basis. And I'm making $1,000 a week per carrier there. Why not? I'm fucking greedy. Excuse me, I'm not. But I wanted to be greedy in that time frame because I wanted to collect as much money as I could so I can have my time back. Do you know what that means? No, you don't. Because you work for someone. You don't know what it means to get your time back. Because it takes sacrifice. It takes discipline. It takes give and take to get that time back. So you can get money, but you don't get time back. You get money when you give time. See, I wanted time and money back. I was selfish. So this is what I did. I went to the store with my husband. We went grocery shopping. I saw my confirmation. See, I've been on earth long enough to know that the feeling of peace is a confirmation of God. The feeling of uneasiness is that sign from the enemy that is his answer. So once I saw my sign, which was a simple shirt that said faith over fear, oh, I had that feeling of peace. So Friday when I was on the phone, on my Zoom with my supervisor, and he's telling me, kind of like chewing my ass out, hey, Kat, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing this. I said, hold on, stop 1 second. Am I still number one? Not to be braggadocious or cocky, but are my numbers still up? Am I still number one? Yeah. But we see that you're working, because by this time, I wasn't just working 2 hours between 12 and 2. I was working from 8 to 4, 8 to 12, and it kind of lingered into that 12 to 1 because I was supposed to be at work at 12 o'clock. So they're saying, we see that you're not really working a full 8-hour shift. We see that you're really working 4 hours and still doing the same work. And we're saying, hey, if she can get her work done in 4 hours, then we can only imagine how much more she can get done in 8 hours. Right, coach? How much work can you get done in 8 hours? Well, let me tell you something. The 15 deals that I was bringing in on a monthly basis with their price point at $125,000, that means I was making that company $1.8 million a month. And once I learned that, I was so fucking pissed off. Because $60,000 is nothing to 1.8. Wait, my commission was only $15,000. You telling me you're not even giving me 10% on the 10%? Stop playing with me. That's what made me say, let me find something else. So as I'm hearing my supervisor tell me you should do more, I said, wait, I'm already doing more than the people you have in less time. So I'm thinking in my mind, how dare you tell me I need to do more? You need to be paying me more. So guess what I did out of nowhere? My husband was sitting right behind me because he had a second desk because dispatching was already up and rolling. I said, I quit. I will send your equipment back to you. I don't need you. See, that's the problem with a lot of you who's watching me right now. You need that job, allegedly. You really don't. You need God. God can handle and make room for your gift, whatever industry that He has destined for you to be in. He put me in this lane. How do I know? It felt like, Cat Williams, Pimp Chronicles, when he was talking about Professor, when you're walking past that room and you're like, wait, did I see that? I was like, God, did you just touch me? I can feel something with logistics, but I don't know what it is. I knew what it was. And that's the thing. A lot of you know what you should be doing, but you don't have the courage to do it. The biggest and the hardest thing that you will ever do in this world is have belief. It took me more than 10 years to figure that part out. The biggest and the hardest thing is to have belief, not in God, because you can easily give to God and He gonna do it. It's believing in yourself. So when I said, I'm gonna do this without them, I don't need that little 60K, baby. And when I let the 60K go, God gave me double that in less than 1 year. I was shocked. That is how GL University was created. That is technically not knowing, that was the beginning of my AI freight coach. See, I was at the beginning nervous when I first started, before I even gave the 200. I said, God, if you help me just get one carrier, I promise you I will do right by the person. God gave me 25 carriers in less than 1 month. So how is it that you don't have enough carriers as a dispatcher? Stop lying to me. The money is out there. The people are waiting on you. How is it that you're a driver and you have not scaled out that truck? Stop lying to me. I've helped drivers get out that truck in less than 6 months. We hit our goals in 1 year. We helped our carriers hit their goals in 4 to 6 months. Why? Because of the systems that I'm bringing to you all. See, when I created these systems, I was pulling my hair out because it was so much operational deadhead to complete each task that it was taking so much time away. See, time is money. See, you have to understand, success like fast pace. You cannot slow pace this. So here is how things came about. My belief took off further than you can even imagine. See, it took me months to say, Kat, can you teach this? When I was dispatching, I said, I feel like I can teach this to somebody. I feel like I can teach. So I put it to the test. I started teaching my drivers. One lady in particular, I'll never forget, because my husband didn't want to work with her. She said, look, I work 40 to 50 hours in a week. I can drive Monday, Tuesday, but I need to be back at work by Wednesday. I said, what? Wednesday? How much money do you want to make? What are your goals? See, me asking these questions, I wasn't trying to be nosy. I need to know, is this worth my time? I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I had to deliver, though. If you tell me you want to make $10,000 a week and I come up with $7,000, then baby, I'll shortchange you. I owe you an explanation. If you tell me you want to make $10,000 a week and I help you make that $10,000, and then I find out that you actually took home $4,500 or less, than you shortchange yourself. So the belief system started when I had to stop learning dispatching. See, my dispatching was, let me book this freight, let me make sure I hit your goals, and that's it. And I realized, whoa, wait a second. I took carriers who wasn't even making $6K to make $8K. I took carriers who wasn't even making $8K to make $10K. And then I heard how much they brought home. I said, stop. What are you talking about? You bringing $3,500 home on a weekly basis. And drivers were saying, oh, that's good. When you think about it, because $3,500, that's 7, that's 14. Okay, that's cool. But if I tell you, 14,000 out of 40,000, you will say, what did I do wrong? So there's a reason why my systems work, because after figuring out, okay, I can help you hit your goal, but then it's taking too much time to hit your goal. Or we hit your goal, but then how much did you bring home? Nah, see, it works like this in dispatching. It works like this in logistics. You got 4 weeks out the month. That first week, let me start over. You got 4 weeks. As a driver, I need you on the road 3 weekends out the month. Why? We got money to make. That truck is a nonstop operating system. We're out there to pick up money. Don't slow change. You have to hit your numbers just like I have to hit my numbers. I need to make sure you make $10,000 a week. You need to make sure that you're on time, because every load that you are late for, you're going to get a red flag on the Carrier 411 website that you don't even have access to. That's why you get the low ball numbers. That's why you are actually overlooked and passed over by other drivers, because there's a system that brokers have, and I know because I actually have access to it, that they check everything, how often you're late. See, many people, they will say, let me get an MC and let that MC sit. So when it's 6 months in, oh, now I got 6 months. But guess what? They're going to pull up that MC and see that you've never taken a load. They're going to say, hey, you've never had any operations. So why would I trust you? You got 6 months of age, but you don't have no time under your belt. So dispatching, it is a task. Operating is a business. Here's my system for you, baby. My tripod system. It consists of my carrier vetting. That's my interviewing system. Why? You need to vet smarter. Ask better questions. You need to evaluate your risk, because the driver behind the truck is the biggest risk you would take. It's not your dispatcher. It's not the broker who can ghost you. It's the driver, because the driver is going to take your money, your business, and even your credit, your reputation. That is one powerful person. So let's make sure that we interview them correctly. Let's check their authority. Let's make confident decisions. See, my interviewing system, it consists of the entire system. We'll get into that next. My truck and household profit calculator, this was technically an extension of my interviewing. The reason why this was created, because I started interviewing carriers, my husband and I, on Sundays. That was the only day where we were not working dispatching. Now, here's the thing. Sunday, this interviewing system took about an hour. Okay, cool. But then they found out, yeah, we're actually good people, so they want to talk to us. And then we found out, wait a second, hold on. We know we sound too good to be true because we made it that way. Not because it's any fufu-gazy bull. No, it's because we worked that hard to get too good to be true. Let me know your numbers. How much is your rent? How much is your car note? I actually had carriers understand that, oh, you really do care. You damn right I care. Because my name, my business is attached to that outcome. And if we don't hit those numbers, guess what you're going to do? Oh, PA ain't this, or no. You're going to say we deliver. That's why one family refers so many of their family members to us, because we deliver. That's why all of our drivers, see, I didn't have to hunt anymore. I didn't have to prospect or go to Facebook anymore, because drivers was coming to us. How? Referrals. Referrals and reviews will make or break your business. Understand that. So with this household calculator, our interviewing system went from 1 hour to 2 hours with the questions. What are your household? How much do you spend on your food, your utilities? People were first thrown off with the questions. I said, wait a second. Did you sign up for another job or a business? See, a business has 4 stages of growth to go through. And if you are only at the employee stage, just because your name is on the paper, it doesn't make you an owner. See, the employee stage means you have to think up the plan yourself. You have to come up with all of that yourself. The builder stage, see, employee is the mind. The builder stage is the feet. You have to do everything yourself. See, that third stage, that's the sweet stage, because now you're using your hands. Now you're operating. Now you feel a little bit more confident in allowing a dispatcher in, allowing someone else to come in to help leverage. You need leverage. If you don't know what that is, baby, you're missing out, because leverage is going to help you sleep at night. Leverage is going to put money in your bank account. That 4th stage, that's where everyone signed up to be, but they don't get there because they quit in builder or operating stage. Why? Builder stage, they're doing everything. And if you're doing everything, you can burn yourself out. Operating stage, you have some leverage, but you may not have a system. Excuse me, leverage could be another person, a VA. It could be another AI agent. Who knows? Who cares? It's all about getting it, right? But ownership. Let's talk about that. That's where you can delegate with your voice. Hey, go put that over there. I'm not doing that. I've already thought of this. I've already built this. I've already managed this. Now I'm actually about to run this with my voice. See, most companies don't get there because people are operating like an operator in builder stage. People are actually doing employee stuff and management stuff. No, each level has a new devil. Each level has walls. There's certain things that you're supposed to do within that level. So I digress. With my trucking household calculator, I took all those questions for that section and I created an actual calculator. Yes, not just a calculator, but a system. See, this calculator, there's levels to it. The trucking household calculator, it will tell you your numbers within about 5 minutes. Put in your household information, put in your truck, your insurance. It will spit out how much you need to take on a weekly basis, how much you need to take on per mile. Can you take $1.75? Can you take $2.10? Do you need endorsements? It will actually create an action plan for you and suggest which one of my systems you need. It's either the interviewing system, the number system, or even the operating system. Now let's get to it. The operating system. My AI freight coach. I am very proud of myself for this because everyone is trying to eliminate dispatchers. Let me be honest. You can create an AI dispatcher that can dispatch that load for you, but did it teach you anything? Did it tell you why you should take this load? Did it tell you, hey, your goal is to be this by this time frame at the end of the week? If we take this, it's going to put you over here, and that's going to do you, I would say, a disservice. See, my AI freight coach, it has two systems, two levels. One is going to basically do everything for you while teaching you. The second level, oy vey. It took a lot to get to this level because it wasn't easy, but it was very much necessary. I created my partial finder, my partial load finder. Why? I had to take all of me, everything that I created, everything that I know about logistics, and I put it into this system because I was out there booking these loads, looking at the freight, looking at the partials, looking at the measurements, looking at the drive time, measuring everything, checking my back hauls 2 or 3 days in advance, making sure that my drivers are already loaded and stacked. That's why it's important for my drivers to hit their numbers, because if you hit your numbers, the numbers are already set for you. See, my system makes it where you're going to win if you hit your numbers. That driver's on time, great, you're good. That driver drops off on time, great, you're good, because now we can pick up on time. Now we can drop off. Now we can hit the time frame. See, alignment is all about rhythm, systems, organization, timing. And if you have that rhythm, then you can flow correctly. So with this AI freight coach, that is exactly what it does. The first system, the first layer, coming soon. Put all your information in. It's going to spit fire, not just your loads to you, but it's going to tell you why it chose this load. The second layer is going to have that partial load finder. Because guess what? A lot of my trucks, and some of yours, you may have 8 feet, 12 tall, 12 feet. You may have 8 feet wide, 12 feet high, all available for your truck. Now let's find something that can go on to that truck. Why? We want to make sure the truck is full at all times. We're out there to collect money, so don't leave any money behind. Now let's get into the system, my carrier advantage system. Now we're going to have a questionnaire. You need that. The questionnaire so you don't have to think anymore. Why get in front of someone and say, how many loads have you taken? What do you normally drive to? That's surface stuff. Stop playing around. We need to get to the weeds of this person. Have you ever abandoned a truck? Have you ever stolen something? Do you have anything on your MC number? Do you have anything on your history that will make me question you? We need to get to the weeds of the person so we make sure that we're actually putting the right person in the right driver's seat. Let me get my charger. Excuse me 1 second. So my questionnaire is 25 questions that goes underneath the surface to find out the real deeds of the person that we want to put behind the truck, because the driver is the most important person, allegedly. And I say that because they're taking the driver out. So the driver is going to help you scale your business. My system is going to help you interview smarter. Why? We want that question, and we want to make sure that we are actually finding the right carriers. The scorecard, guess what that's going to do? It's going to show you how much of a risk this person is. Are you a low risk? No issues. High risk? We need to talk. Now, outside of that, the decision matrix is going to let us know A, B, C, or D. Which one should we go for? Outside of that, we're going to go with the red flags guide. You need to know what to look for, because some people, they may sound right. They can even get past maybe the first 10 questions, but I doubt it if a scammer, a bad person, someone who's going to really take advantage of you are going to get past all 25 and still be able to say they are qualified. If they get past this questionnaire, then more than likely they are qualified, because now you know that you should have a better feeling of the person you're hiring versus, oh, you look good. Oh, you sound like you know what you're doing. Just because someone is your family member doesn't mean they know how to handle if your truck has a blowout. Just because someone may have had some experience doesn't mean that they are qualified to really handle your operation. You want to make sure you're making the right decisions confidently. So my interviewing system, as I stated, it goes into my ebook, the Carrier Vetting ebook. This is going to be your blueprint. This is going to help you know exactly who to hire and how to hire them. The questionnaire is going to go into the details of the specifics of what we're looking for in that driver. Now, my scorecard, this is where we know A, B, C, or D. The decision matrix, are you a high risk or are you a low risk? Can we take an investment out on you? Because that's exactly what Verizon do to their employees. Can I pour $60,000 into you without you taking advantage of me or my company? The red flags guide, it is a short guide to figuring out if this person is suitable for your business without them trying to hide it. Now, as I move through the approval letter, why? Because once you have everything, put it on one sheet so you can have your information readily available for you. Now, let's get into the second system that I personally have created. Is my truck and household calculator. Put your revenue, put your expenses, your household, your taxes, your goals into my system, and guess what? It's going to spit out how much you need to make on a weekly basis. Your goals, what that looks like, how much deadhead you should really be taking, how much you should avoid. And on a weekly basis, your numbers. That's the most important thing. I had drivers who are like, oh, I want to take less than $1.75. Okay. Do you know you don't have any endorsements? Do you know you're less than 6 months? Okay. Do you know you need money? So beggars can't be choosers. Shut the hell up and get the money. Because you have to take each load like a rep in the gym. Stop acting as if you are out here with all of these credentials that makes you qualified to haul millions of dollars of freight. Do you know there are some men who are actually getting paid $20,000 or $200,000 per load? Let me say that again. Because they have the endorsements, they have the qualifications, and even the experience. So why do you think you're qualified if you don't have any of that, or even one of those? Know your numbers. That's what this is for. Put your numbers in my system so you can stop guessing. Because when you guess, you always somehow end up wrong. This is exactly what people do. $4 a mile, y'all. I got $4 a mile. I took this freight. Boom. We made $2,000. It was only 700 miles. I'm killing the game. Really? How much was your gas? How much was your money? How much is your household? See, let me go back to what I was trying to say before. You got 4 weeks in the month. I need my driver out there on that road 3 weekends, not just 3 weeks, 3 weekends, because the first week pays your bills. The second week, finish paying your bills. The remaining of the second week and the rest of the third week is your surplus week. That's the money you can collect because your bills in your household are paid for. That's the money you put to the side. The fourth week prepares you for the first week expenses. If you don't have your system, if you don't your numbers, you're going to look like this. Oh, I took this load right here because it's $4 a mile. It was $2,800, but the expenses on that was $2,400. Oh my gosh. Do you know that looks good, but it's not? You know how many people I see on Facebook saying, oh, I make $10,000 a week. And I say, how much is your take home? Oh, $3,500. Then that means more than 50% of your money is going out. You know that's not smart. Well, you know my insurance. Do you know there are other insurance agents? I had an insurance agent quote a new MC $1,000 a month. I said, what? I called every one of my carriers and said, call this insurance company right now because you're paying $1,800. This new MC is paying $1,000. You know how much money that saves you? Stop playing. $275. Okay, your revenue is $1,900, right? But guess what? Your expenses on that is only $1,100 because you know your gas tank. You know how many miles it costs to drive for a fill up. You understand that a profit of $805 is more than $350. Do you know $805 combined 4 times is over $3,200? Say you do that in one day. Say you do that in 1 week. You made more while spending less. See, people don't understand. Profit is just not big numbers. Profit is how much do you take home. So I dare someone with their numbers to come check out my calculator and tell me if it doesn't show you where you are actually missing or messing up. Because many people, they don't understand it's not what you make, it's what you keep. See, let me go back. This is important. Know your numbers. Your business expense. Let me get the glasses so we can get smart here. Let me get the glasses. We want to be smart. Your business plus your household equals true freedom. Let's say it again. Your business plus your household equals true freedom. If you only cover your business, you got another job. If you only cover your business, you're away for no reason. If you only cover your business, you're doing your family a disservice. See, dispatching and trucking is a skill that you can personally teach your kids, the other people in your family. So why sit on it? Know your numbers because guess what? Your business expense, your fuel maintenance, your taxes, your household, your savings equals your profit. Now, if your take home is $3,500 after you've paid all of that, that makes sense. See, my drivers wasn't doing that. Their take home, see, I made them 10, 8 sometimes. Their take home was like 35, maybe 25. I said, wait, did you do all of this? Nah, that's like gas, food, the club. I said, stop playing with me. See, I didn't have to go the extra mile and make sure that their household was taken care of. I could have just continued to dispatch and say, hey, look, I'm doing my job. I'm hitting up my numbers. But I actually care. And I said this. I want the person who comes up behind me can do it faster and easier. So that's exactly why I created this. And this is my AI freight coach. This is going to be where we teach you. It has a carrier. My carrier vetting system is a portal now. My truck and household profit calculator is attached to this now. So now you have an entire system where you can go ahead and put in that new carrier's MC, get their scorecard, get their information about whatever's on carrier 411. Now you're talking about you can know your numbers from my profit calculator in the system. And on top of that, I took it further with the second layer of my profit calculator, and that's with Profit OS. Because knowing your numbers is one thing, making sure the truck is full every day with the partial load finder. That's a game changer. It finds you partial loads to fit your truck en route to your destination. It looks at the next 3 to 4 loads for you to book in advance. See, that's why you have to be on time. See, I ran a tight operation. You can't show up late. I have 3 or 4 loads already waiting on you. Why? because I want to work in advance. And I understand that you can't do too much in advance because life happens, but you can if you have the right system. See, this is going to do everything for you. It's going to take all the information from that Raycon, extract it to the broker and to the driver. On top of that, it's going to handle your invoices. Why? I don't want you to have to think. I want you to have to do and to learn. That's it. If I can teach you how to do through my coach, and I teach you how to, and you actually eventually learn because you're doing. See, right now we're learning and then we're doing. With this, you get to learn while you're doing. Other people, they're creating their AI agents, their AI dispatchers. That's cool. But the one thing that separates me from others, I'm not the same. My systems are not the same. I don't even think the same. My system helps you to learn and grow at the same time. Their system helps you to just excuse me, their system helps you to just dispatch. You can grow by adding more people, but do you really know what you're doing if you don't know the fundamentals? Do you really know what you're doing if you don't know how to interview? Do you really know what you're doing if you don't know the numbers? If AI shuts down, do you still know how to dispatch? No, you know how to task match, because that's what you're doing. You're matching the task. Here's a load, here's a driver, there you go. But what about the entire operation system? See, this has the partial load finder. This has my structure shapes of logistics, so you know who pays who and what. A broker can't ghost you anymore. A double broker, nah, we're gonna collect that money. Don't worry. I'm the person who actually collect over 250,000. I want to say 250 million, but 250,000 from recovered loads from double brokers, which means I must know what the hell I'm doing. And I am not trying to be braggadocious, but it was hard waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to follow these people. It was hard staying up to 5 o'clock in the morning to see the little drops that they give when they're trying to steal your freight. So I say that with so much confidence because it took me a long time to get there. See, when everything starts to work together, now you have a continuous system of cycle growth. When you know how to interview smarter, when you know your numbers and you know them faster, when you have and be able to, when you have and you're able to operate your system with AI, guess what you can do? Now you can accelerate faster and you can actually do this a lot more. It used to take me hours to finish this. Hours to not book for someone. Nah, that's easy. You can easily book for someone. But looking for that backhaul, making sure the driver's on time, making sure you're not. It took so much to bring everything together. I wanted to pull my hair out. Some days I felt like I was doing it. But guess what? The more I continue to do this, freedom started to creep in. And let me show you what that looks like. Because we're not getting into logistics just to dispatch a truck. We're not getting into logistics just to drive a damn truck. Do you know you got into this so you can be free? Do you understand doctors who come into logistics don't go back to being doctors? Do you understand people who are in logistics? They don't leave us or this industry and say, oh, let me go to being a lawyer. Or no, because over here, it's like, I want to say it's not a job, but you get the job done. It's really a legacy when you think about it, because a legacy is something that you're building to grow to scale. So the job itself is your task. Driving, dispatching, that's your task. But the legacy is, let's scale this to where I don't have to be here all day, every day. Let's scale this so where my business can operate without me. So here's the gist. I have to get to create my systems because I learned early on. Every time I tried to do this, everything stopped. Every time I wanted to have a little break, everything stopped. Even when I had employees, I said, hold the hell on. I train now. I train my husband now. I train my 2 other employees now. I train. And I learned, whoa, my system must not be right. Because if I have other people and if I have a leverage, why is it when I step away, everything stops? Oh, because I am the operating system. Oh, I am the brains of it. Let me figure this out because I need my business to run. That helped me to understand that my time was valuable. See, I worked harder for myself than I did for any other person. And the money that I made, it was way more than I did for any other company. So I thank my mentor, Dion Coopwood, for letting me know when you bet on yourself, you really do come out more. Because the freedom with my system gave me more time, more profit. I took on more carriers. I had more peace. We had more freedom. See, freedom is the product. Logistics is the vehicle that I'm using to show you guys. If you want to be free, come over here. Why? I've done sales in every industry out there. I've been in the field. I've worked out in all types of jobs. You only get freedom here. I've done network marketing, World Ventures, all the way. And I don't indulge into too many things because my time is valuable. My energy is what matters, because when you pour your energy into things, to me, that's when you invest it. So when I learned what dispatching really was, because it is connecting the broker to the driver. But I also learned that it's about being the communicator. If you can communicate, nigga, you can make 6 figures over here. Let's stop playing around. And you can do it on your own dime. I was dispatching in the grocery store, dispatching at the park with my kids, dispatching in the bed. Do you understand? I didn't have to get out of bed to make my money. I still kept my office because for me, I think like a system. So I need to have things up and around. I had all my maps everywhere. But I was able to grow to the point where I didn't need my laptop. So if you want to be free, come on, stop playing, because TikTok and all this social media will show you. I look at systems and I look at the economy. You got, I want to say, fast money. That little quick get rich scheme. Write this here, you get this here. Do this here, you get that. Hell no, I've been there and I've done that. Scams, God stopped me. Every time I tried to go through the same door, 10 people, one with the scam, I'm the 11th one, I'm caught. I said, forget it. I'm just going to do it your way, God. Because I've learned at the end of the day, I must be that eyeball where I can't be like everyone else. So if you want to not be like everyone else, because everyone else is trying Amazon shopping. Everyone else is trying, the credit, the funding. Everyone else is trying to find something when they just need to find their gift. What are you passionate about? See, I was passionate about, and still am to this day, helping people. That does not mean it had to be sales. It didn't mean I had to be a lawyer, because that's what I actually went to school to be. I found the fact that I can actually help people in logistics. And when I got in logistics, I saw the holes and I said, let me create the systems for logistics. So there you go. Here is why we are different, because I'm not teaching dispatching. See, I did dispatching and I learned that, whoa, wait a second. Dispatching is part of it, but it is not the whole pie. It's not. See, I have to I have to do more than that, because if I just teach you dispatching, I would do you a disservice. You will leave more money on the table. I actually want to teach you about the lows, the numbers, the operating system, the real freedom, because if you dispatch and you don't have an operating system, guess what you have? A job. If you dispatch and you don't have something that flows, guess what you did? You just signed up to be fucking tired. That's all I can say. If you are a driver and you're still a driver, guess what? You don't know how to scale your business. Stop acting as if driving for 20 years is a flex. It's not. Having a company for 20 years is a flex, but being a driver for 20 years shows me you never figured it out. So this is why we're different. We do teach operating. We teach the interviewing system. We teach the number system. We even help you build your true freedom. How? By helping you create your business identity. See, GLU, I created something where anyone who learns from me or comes after me has it easier. You don't have to figure out your website, your paperwork, all of that's done for you. Don't worry, my team, we already got that for you. I want you to focus on the fundamentals, the mastery of that lane of America, because the lane mastery is really the US of A. on top of that, I want you to understand that you need a system, because if you have a business without a system, you just have a job. So I took it a step further because I'm connected in different areas. World Ventures taught me how to be a VIP person, and I will never go back. I don't like to wait in lines. I'm not bougie. I just have standards and values. And the same thing with my Operator's Advantage. As a 1099 employee, my employees, that's my owners in this lane, logistics. If you work for yourself, more than likely you don't have health insurance. Guess what? We got you covered. More than likely you may not have some resources. Don't worry. We got you covered. See, I created the Operator Advantage program because I'm connected to a lot of people. And I said, wait, I'm not trying to be a person that is a one-stop shop to do everything. No, I can send you to the other person who does that. Someone else has that skill, that gift. So I opened up the doors for healthcare, my tax pros, meaning my CPAs that I actually have done business with. My credit and funding partners. Why? Because every person in them logistics don't have good credit. Ugh. People are trying to buy trucks before they buy their MC number. Does that make sense? A lot of people want to scale, but they don't have a business portfolio. Does that make sense? No. A lot of people don't even focus on these things because they're trying to get into the industry. They're trying to get money. They're trying to just breathe. Don't worry. Dispatch Cat, I got you. My business support, and even my wealth and lifestyle. See, that's Viago. See, being a part of World Ventures showed me that I like to save. I like discounts. I like money at the end of the day. Why go to Macy's when I can go to Macy's on my own website and spend $50 and get 10 back? It just makes sense to me. So I've definitely partnered up with Viago, my credit partners, my tax CPAs, and even my healthcare marketplace to bring you these programs outside of the school because you need healthcare whether you have a job or not. You need those tax pros because, come on now, so many people, you're running a business, but do you know how to handle your calculations? You don't even know your truck number, so I don't think you'll know that. A lot of people, they have bad credit. A lot of people, they buy these trucks without using the Section 179 tool. Why would you buy a truck or a business vehicle without using Section 179? So you can receive 100% of that money back on your taxes. See, right there, that right there is enough to save you a minimum of $24,000 because the car has to be minimum $24,000, 6,000 pounds, and to be utilized 50% for your business. So if you have that, why didn't you buy your car through that particular financing company? They're partnering with a lot of auto loans because you don't know. My people perish because they don't know. So let me break it down for you if you want to know. If you want to learn from me, my prices are simple, baby. 1K, 3K, 5K. Why? Because I'm bringing you more than content. Why? Because I'm bringing you systems with tools and AI. Come on, stop playing with me now. If you want freedom, if you want a different lifestyle. See, I'm not just teaching dispatching. See, I'm not just showing you how to book freight and how to do it. See, I did that the first week. Catch me next week because my weeks rotate. Week 1 through 4. That's when I'm going to teach the fundamentals again next Wednesday. So be present for that. See, dispatching is simple. Let me put this down because all I needed was my phone, my freight, and my truck. Let's get down to the business. How do I find freight? Your brokers or your load board. That's it. With brokers, if you are new, you're not going to have that relationship. If you are new, you don't have that relationship. If you are old and you have that relationship, then you should do right by that relationship and try to gain direct freight from those relationships. See, every broker came across me, knew me. Every broker that I met, I asked, hey, how often do you have this on your plate? Let me make you a rock star today because I know sales and brokers are salesmen. Let me say that again. A broker is a salesman. Why? Because that broker has a load on their plate that needs to be off by the end of the day. They have a boss who doesn't want that, who wants that load to be booked, and that person gets a commission for it. So my self-pace, 1K. Why? Because you're going to learn everything that I know, everything that I have already created. You get the lifetime access. We're not playing around with this because a lot of self-paced, you don't have much love. People give you the content and they say, go ahead, find something else to do. No, I'm going to hook you up with that. I'm going to hook you up with my standard toolkit. That's going to be my insider secrets. When I say that triangle, the triangle helps the truck eat for 21 days. Why? Because for me, I had to figure out how can I have my truck rotating on a 7-day weekly basis, not 5 days. A lot of drivers will say, look, it's Friday, I want to go home. I say, get off my time. Because if you're not trying to eat, you're wasting my time. I have to make sure that this is enough for me and my family and even your family. So that means I have to make sure there's enough skin in the game. So 1K gets you self-paced. If you want to learn from me directly, I will be honored. It is a privilege. It is a pleasure to say, let me now stand in front of you, because when I was building this, I wasn't ready. And I'm shocked because you dispatchers out there, if you're dispatching, you're trying to teach, let me pray for you. If you have a business, you have to be focused on that business. I wouldn't dare try to teach as I am dispatching. That's just me. Why? Because my carriers are important. My carriers are going to stay rolling. And if I'm keeping my carriers rolling, then I'm not teaching you. That doesn't make sense to me. It can make sense to others. And that's okay. Because some people, they don't have the number of kids that I have. They don't have the lifestyle that I have. So they may be able to handle that. No, my thing that I learned in business is focus on one thing at a time. And that's how you be successful. I was successful in dispatching because I was focused on that. So my legacy is going to help you get focused, because that's what this is about. See, it's going to have everything in self-paced, but it gives you the business system. We build your website. We handle your business paperwork. Why? We want you focused on the business. I need you to be focused on your carriers. We're going to help you even sign those carriers. I told you I found hundreds. All my carriers came from Facebook. I keep it 100 because at the end of the day, when you're from Chicago, you don't have no time to play. You only have time to get it. See, I'm in the Carolinas, and down here, they move a little slow. You can stop and smell the roses, and I'm glad and grateful, but I'm glad that I was raised in the cold because I don't have time to play. And I say that because my legacy, we give you live coaching. I'm going to hook you up with my interviewing system, because if you have a business, you're going to need that system. There's no way you're going to be successful with your business without that system. Why? You're going to take so much time to learn to drive. You're going to take so much time to figure out what's the right question. Stop playing yourself. Get the right things. Why? Because time is money. If you take 20 hours to try and figure out how to interview someone when you could just took my class, then that means you spent too much time and you just wasted your life. See, this right here is going to help you operate with results. Implementation, that is what we're talking about with the legacy. 5K, 5K. 5K. 5K is for my elite honors, my elite owners. This is for the dispatchers who are not making more than 8 to 10K a month, because honestly, those numbers are small. One truck can make you up to $4,000 a month, because if I help you hit 10K and I'm taking 10%, that means I make $1,000 a week per truck. If I have 2 trucks, that's 8K in a month. That's 96,000. Stick with me here. I didn't even put a team in that truck. If I have 3 trucks, that means what? I got 12,000 a month. We made 25,000 the first month. The second month, I cut the list down to 6 carriers. See, I don't care about the big numbers. See, I'm a smart, strategic owner. See, I understand small risk can compound and become big risk. I take that. See, I would rather dispatch and make the same amount that my trucks was making. Let me show you how. A dispatcher taking 10%, I had 6 trucks, right? My trucks were making 10,000 a week. So let's take 1 truck. That's 40K in a month. Okay, cool. My 6 drivers made me 6,000. My 25 drivers made me 25,000. So if that 1 truck was hitting 40K, that lets me know then all I would need is 40 trucks. Now, it's a little bit hard to juggle 40 trucks if you're manually doing this. But if you have a system with AI, nigga, you can do this fast. But more importantly, in less time. See, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. It's not about how long, it's really about how short of a time were you able to get the job done. Because no one wants to dispatch for 10, 12 hours on a daily basis. We did that. That's behind me. 2, maybe 4 hours, cool. And that's what about 4 trucks. See, before that was 1 truck. You have to learn how to juggle. See, that's exactly why I created my Elite 5K. See, that comes with everything in Legacy. That also comes with Elite support. See, Legacy, you're going to have a monthly call. Elite, you have a bi-monthly call, meaning you're going to have 2 calls with my team and I. So we provide you that support. Brokers running off with your money. Brokers not paying you, factoring companies not paying you. These are all questions, all scenarios that you may be actually dealing with, and you may need a solution right now. If you are out there and the broker has not paid you, send me a message right now. It's only 1 card that you can pull where that broker will pay you within the next 14 to 30 days. Let me say that again, because I know there's at least 5 people right now who are missing money from a broker. So go ahead. Shoot me a message, Dispatch Cat on Facebook or Instagram, Global Logistics University, anywhere else. It's unfortunate for a driver to go out there, put their body out there on the road, and then you have to chase your money. That means you didn't do it correctly and hire the right dispatcher, or you're trying to do it yourself. But don't worry, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help you because I want you to get paid. Here's your roadmap to freedom. Because the only reason why many people come to logistics is because they want to be free. People are not going out there to get these damn trucks just so they can collect freight. Let me be honest. They want to be free. And the way you be free is by calling your own shots. Now, you learn the system, master my system, implement it every single day. You operate with the confidence, and then we're going to take it and scale it. I told you there's 4 stages of growth in a business. First stage is an employee. You are thinking and doing everything yourself. The second stage is a builder. That's where you're using your feet. You're doing everything yourself. The third stage is where you're operating. You're moving your hands. Now you have a little leverage because you've allowed that dispatcher to come in to help and show you what to really do, or you actually created a system or adopted someone else's system to take you there. The 4th stage is ownership. That's where you can actually run your business with your mouth. Now we're talking about delegating with your mouth. See, when you're in stage 4, you don't need to build. You've already built. You don't need to manage. You've already done that. You actually hire someone to do that. So why will we do any of that? See, this is all about discipline. See, the lifestyle you're living today is because of the steps you took yesterday. The lifestyle that you have right now that you're operating is because of the system that you've been operating. So if you're operating in a system that's not giving you the results, then maybe we should look into something else. Maybe we should try something else. Maybe we should, dare I say it, allow someone else to teach you something else. Because not to say you did anything wrong. No one as an adult in this day and age wants to hear you're not doing it right. No, maybe you just don't know what you just don't know. So let me break down my entire system. My complete Global Logistics University consists of the ecosystem that was all developed by me. My trucking household calculator, we're going to know those numbers right away because we're not going to guess. We want to know how much we need to make and how fast we can make it. My AI freight coach, oh baby, don't worry about it. We're going to help you dispatch yourself and teach you why you dispatch. My Operator's Advantage program, don't worry. We know you're a 1099 earner. And guess what? We're going to make sure you have health insurance, legal insurance, credit, taxes, all of the above to complete your ecosystem. Now, community support. You're not alone. Don't think you're doing this by yourself, because a lot of people, they are afraid to communicate. Don't worry. I'm actually a friendly person. I will help you. My certificate in training. We're going to help you with these credentials, because a lot of you drivers, oh baby, y'all were driving without any endorsements. So you definitely need some certificates behind you. Let me ask, would you allow a doctor to operate on you without any endorsements, without any certifications? I don't think so. Would you allow a lawyer to represent you without any certifications? So why the hell are we allowing people to get behind the wheel of these trucks without any endorsements, without any certifications? Why are we allowing some people to be dispatchers, to operate and manage millions of dollars of freight without the credentials or even the knowledge? Stop playing with me. We're going to give you my carrier vetting system so you know how to interview. Why? Because if you know how to interview a carrier, then you know how to interview a broker. Because a lot of you drivers out there, you all don't interview your brokers. You don't. You are actually too afraid to interview that broker, because that broker can say, I'm going to take this away. See, with the right questions, you look more qualified. With the right questions, you look as if you have standards, because you don't want any freight on your truck. I actually had freight that was placed on my driver's truck, and it tore the whole top end of the damn truck. Do you know that man could not drive his truck anymore? He had to take it home and park it and wait until the mechanic could get to him. All the while, you have the shipper who's trying to negate. We didn't do that. No, we didn't. Stop playing with me. You know for a fact we didn't bring that truck in there with holes in it. You know for a fact that we brought a quality truck in there. So now you're going to pay. See, having a person like me on your team, well, I always help you win, because I went to school to be a lawyer. So that means I actually know how to, I want to say, argue. This is my complete circle that I was speaking of earlier. See, I wanted to make sure I covered the basis for anyone who's in logistics, because when you think about it, as the 1099 earner, you don't have health insurance. That's what number 3 is for. That's what this medical assistance is for. This is going to help you get the health insurance, so your teledoc, all of the above, your prescriptions on top of that. The second one is my financial and capital readiness. Everyone in logistics need this, even if you're not in logistics. Excuse me. And that's what you need assistance with. You can get the program. Well, I'm having this geared for my logistics industry people, because there's not too many resources that's really backing you guys up. You all need financial assistance with the small fleet. And I'm going to be honest. We're moving to the faceless trucks, right? Don't you want to have an investment in that? See, many people are looking at the stocks and the real estate. I look at the entire economy. Look at the new stocks. They're trucks. Look at the new stocks. They're faceless trucks. Why not invest in one of those right now? Because guess what they're going to do? Just get better and better. So while you have your faceless truck, that's going to be your OTR, guess what you can do? You can have that box truck, because that's going to be your local route. Everything is about the change in logistics, and many people don't know. See, OTR, those drive-ins, all those drivers, where are they going to go? What are they going to do with these trucks? They're going to sell them back to the government, because the government is going to turn them into faceless trucks. And then the box trucks are going to be your local drivers. The box trucks are not going to be out there on the road anymore. And that's the unfortunate part. So with something like that, you want to make sure that your personal credit, and but more importantly, that business credit and portfolio is in alignment. No one cares about an 86 score if their business portfolio is basically Granger and Uline. It's like, that's not even real business credit. It's not. So let's get smart. My legal assistance, you need this. Anyone in logistics need this. I actually had a female driver who ran into a shipper's gate and tried to pretend as if she didn't make any damage. I said, woman, cooperate with the police, give them your ID so they won't have any reason to sue your ass. Because if you want to be one of those ghetto black women who goes into a shipper or a receiver without any truck without any trucker's etiquette, oh, they're going to throw the book at you and say, oh, not only did you do this, you caused this, you caused this, because you are now a liability. You damaged something. So now we have to, let's play by their rules so they won't, send you a big bill so we can get up out of it. Outside of that, I included the lifestyle benefits, and that's what I was speaking about earlier. So now everything that you do as a trucker, every place that you eat, from your gas, use all of those same resources, but do it from a network that will give you your money back. Do it from your own network. That's the purpose of the website. So you can shop on your own website and then the money will come back to you. I have about 2% on all my phones, so I'm about to wrap this up for all you guys. Learn my system. Learn my systems. Build your business and operate with confidence. Let me say that one more time. Learn the system. I operate with 3 systems that every logistics company needs: the interviewing system, the number system, and the operating system. That's my GLU tripod. That will help you interview faster and even better. The number system is going to help you know your numbers so you actually know what you're doing. And then the operating system is going to help you navigate and to understand with the right knowledge. I had to say that slow because a lot of people are telling people the wrong shitty information in this industry, and it's so discouraging. It's so frustrating because when they come to me and then they actually learn the truth, it's like, oh my gosh, the veil has been lifted off my face. You damn right it is, because Kat from Chicago, I'm not going to play with you. I'm here to help you. So when you come after me, you can say, damn shit, I was actually able to do this faster. I was actually able to learn better. I was actually able to scale my business. But let me say it better. I was actually able to have freedom. Freedom where I can have my time back. Freedom where I can actually spend time with my kids. Freedom where I can have a Friday night to myself. Freedom where I don't have to wake up early at 7 a.m. unless I want to. Freedom is what people wake up to go to these jobs to obtain, but they don't get it. Some people actually die before they become free. Which one will you be? You can sit here and you can watch me, or you can join me in my class. So I'm going to leave you with this right here, this last thought. Because before I walk away, I want you to know all of everything that comes with this. I hope you all realize something tonight, that this is not and was never really about dispatching. This was really about building a business that gives you choices. Many people, you guys build businesses, but you all work a second job. Let's be honest. A business that knows where you are and who you're working with. A business that knows your numbers. A business that can help you run those systems versus stress. That is why I created my GLU tripod operating system. Interview, numbers, operate. That's it. One system. Everything is connected because of that. So if you're ready to stop chasing your loads and start building a full operating system that creates profit, confidence, and freedom, then GL University is very much for you. It's where you want your journey to begin. My leg is itching. I want to say thank you for investing your time with me, Coach. Hey, I hope you learned something from me tonight. I want to see all of you guys in my class because logistics is the backbone of America. And guess what? If you do this wrong, you could really mess up your family's potential freedom. Your business is connected to your family's lifestyle. That lifestyle where you all can live wherever you want to live, go wherever you want to go, and swipe your card. But dispatching is a skill that no one can take away from you. And guess what? Even if they take the driver out that truck, they're still going to need the dispatcher. So, I digress. My name is Catherine. What's going on, my peoples? My name is Dispatch Cat. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you guys tonight. And I look forward to seeing you all in my class soon, because dispatching is not going anywhere. Freight is not going anywhere. It's only going to get that much greater. But my tripod system is going to perfect. And one thing about AI is that's not going anywhere either. So let's learn logistics and let's do it faster, because things have already changed within the last 6 years. So imagine what it's going to do within the next 3 years, now that we actually have AI trying to spearhead this thing. Again, it's been a pleasure speaking to all of you. My name is Dispatch Cat. I look forward to seeing all of you in my class. See you guys. Where's my mouse?